Trent University. And my main job is to just make sure that I'm connecting students with some really interesting employment, volunteer, and placement opportunities. So part of that is hosting events such as the big career fair that Jana mentioned just moments ago, but then also more intimate events like we would call this a recruitment event, where we have an employer specifically set up to talk directly to students about all the opportunities, and then to build in some conversation time, which we feel is really important. And we've just done a bit of that before the webinar started. I think that's a really important piece to that. So with that, before I hand it over to Layla to do an introduction, I'm going to just let you know a couple of housekeeping tips. So I think we'll keep everybody on mute for now. However, Gianna is perfectly open and in fact encourages questions throughout the presentation. So if you want to use your Q&A function at the bottom of your screen, Layla will then manage the questions, and Gianna is perfectly okay with being interrupted, because we just don't want to lose, as she said yesterday in our practice session, we just don't want to lose that train of thought, and we can have the conversation. So it is a formal setting, but informal in conversation. So we really want to encourage you guys to jump in with any questions that you may have. So with that, Layla, I'll turn it over to you. You can do a brief introduction of who you are and what your title is, and then we'll turn it over to Gianna.
Yeah, so my name is Layla, and I'm a student staff with Careerspace in the TCRC. I'm currently working as a special projects assistant, so doing all the recruitment events and volunteer fairs that's going to come up and everything like that. So yeah, I kind of just have done the social media marketing for this event, but yeah, that's kind of a bit about me.
You're doing an awesome job, by the way.
Oh yeah, Layla, you're a superstar. And we're so pleased to start the show. So Gianna K. Prath, she is the talent acquisition specialist for
Don't worry, I messed it up too.
acquisition specialist for Noble. And we're so pleased. We just done some chatting about what a wonderful company Noble is, and we're just so excited that Gianna can make some time to talk with you about all kinds of really interesting opportunities for some personal and for professional growth. So without further ado, I will hand it over to you, Gianna.
Thank you. Perfect, guys. So again, Juliana, Layla, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to connect with the Trent students today on behalf of Noble. As mentioned, in simple terms, I'm the recruiter, the gatekeeper for the amazing opportunities available in our organization. And I hope today you walk away, feeling excited about the opportunities that might be in store for you. Like the lady said, if you have any questions, even in the middle, go ahead and shoot them, and I'd be happy to kind of pause and dive deeper if needed. Want to tell you about who we are. We are a plumbing and HVAC wholesaler. What that is when you look at the entire Ontario province and think about all the builders and contractors and what they need to do their business, they're coming to us. So, anything really that has air or water coming through it, like pipes, toiletry, heating, ventilation, we're selling it at a very large volume to our customers to help them service their customers. So we're primarily B2B, and we've been doing that for, it says 25 years. We had a big 25-year celebration, obviously back in 2018, but we're counting up those years, and we've done very well in growing the branch network. And, really kind of what we stand for is really our people. If we're able to serve our people and train our people, and invest in them, they ultimately, provide the great service that our customers know us for. And so, here you see on the screen, I decided to put some images that represent who we are. Top right is just an example of some of the big and amazing events that we host and also take part in. One beautiful thing about the plumbing and HVAC industry, it's so integrated. We have vendors, those are the folks who we get our products from to sell. We have our customers from all different industries. And Noble has been a really good representative of this industry, hosting trade shows where all of these people come in one place and be able to interact. Obviously that will look different in light of, us going very virtual this year, but we are known to be a very much an industry leader, especially at the associations that we are a part of. And then on the left there was one of the events that we had for our trainees, I think almost maybe about a year ago. And there's me if you see me on the little right hand side, but a big proponent, like I said, of who we are is investing in our people. And it's not just about doing the job day to day, it's how are you going to work and being invested in and continuously training. One thing that is special about our industry, it's always learning. You could be in a position for several years, but still continue to learn because the products are changing, technology is changing. So we make sure that we invest in the resources and the training to be able to continue to make our teammates continuously updated on how we service our customers. I can even personally speak on our team. We have a talent development advisor. Her role is all surrounded on, working with these trainees and working with our teammates about what skill sets do they need to do their job, not only to do the job, but to do it the best they can at the success of the business. And then finally, you see in the top, the bottom right there, that's actually one of our drivers, shaking a hand for one of our charitable initiatives. If you do head onto our website, we have a whole page of all the different charities that we've supported for a number of years. And one thing that I can appreciate about Noble is we're very much at the grassroots when it comes to what charities we support. What I mean by that is we really encourage our people to speak to us about the things that they value. And we operate, even at our branches, at that level. So in a sense that if somebody has a particular passion at a particular branch that they'd like to pursue, it's often supported. So you'll see that we don't necessarily partner with one charity partner. We've done several over the years, and a lot of those charities were things that teammates were passionate about and came to us to want to support. So we've been very known for that, and we want to continue to do that even in a virtual sense this year. So I'm going to shift to the next slide, which is, what do we offer you in an opportunity? You're coming out of school, you're keeping an eye out for a new career position. For us, it's a mapped out career trajectory. We're going to talk about today our branch manager and sales development program. These are mapped out career paths for you, where you are permanent full-time employees from the start, and we have you transition into both a sales professional and a business leader. And so for a student, this is really key. A lot of the times when we're looking for a job, we don't just want a job, we want to see growth, we want to see what is in store for us in the future. And so that, I would say, is the biggest selling point as an organization. In both of the opportunities, we have uncapped earnings in terms of profit sharing as well as commission, dependent on what opportunity you pursue. So that has also been a big proponent of what we like to encourage, which is as you are more successful in your position and working with your teammates for the higher performance of the business, you get a stake of that. You get a piece of the pie, so to speak. And then, like I had mentioned, the training and development is extensive and in all positions. We have a talent development advisor who does work on actively training our people and the type of training that we provide. And it's a constant, development of the type of courses that people go to make sure that they're up to date with how the industry is moving. And then, we have a great comprehensive benefits package to kind of support our teammates further in terms of their livelihoods. And then, as we mentioned, we talked about the charitable events. And the last point I really want to dig deep in is becoming a part of the close-knit Noble family. I say often when I interview candidates, even though we're Noble Corporation, which sounds very sort of high level, we very much have kept a family feel to the way we operate. And I've personally seen that, in the leadership, in the branch managers and everybody who I've met, really. You're not just treated as a number. And, I've been in corporations. I've been working in the field for 10 years, and I can tell you, I feel at home when I work at Noble, and I feel that, I can talk to people and not feel like there's, status or levels. It's not awkward for me to have a conversation with the general manager, Jim Anderson. And I think that's important. It's important to be visible when you're an early professional trying to grow your career. and feel welcome and supported. And I think that's one of the best things and why I love working here. I'm going to transition to our focus today. In a general scope, I'm going to talk about the opportunities that are available at Noble. So other opportunities that, aside from the programs that I'm going to deep dive in today, are, summer and co-op positions. We're currently transforming how that looks like in light of COVID. I know that we have just rehired a supply chain co-op who will be joining our operations team. So that's fantastic. And then, of course, we have our branch network and operations opportunities. So as you know, our branch network, these are our stores, and all of the positions that make that store, whether it's warehouse, counter sales, inside sales, we need, teammates to fulfill those positions. So very much customer facing or operations. On the operations side, we often hire for that as well. We have a huge distribution center out here in Vaughan that regularly supports our operations and our network. And then our national support center, also based in the same location, which includes all different departments such as purchasing, finance, AP, AR, you name it, HR included. But the focus today and what I want to talk about is our current available opportunities, which is the branch manager development program and the sales development program. And the branch manager development program is where I want to begin today. So as a branch manager, you really are a business leader. These are not people who are just clocking teammates in and out. They are taking care of this business as if it's their own. From a leadership standpoint, we really much believe in servant leadership, which is, if you are able to, invest in your people and work for them, they will ultimately work best for you and for our customers. And that's been very successful for us and very, very good for our customers, and why our customers end up, turning to us versus others for their products. So, this program is really ideal for somebody who's always seen themselves to be a leader. And it doesn't mean you have to have been a manager before. It could have been, any aspect of your life, whether it was school, volunteer, maybe you had a part-time job or even a full-time job during school where you were demonstrating leadership. This is ideal for you. You do have these different phases that will pretty much teach you all the inner workings of how to run a business. And it starts at operations, right? Operations at that level, you're learning about all the product, from scratch. Mind you, we have like over 80,000 SKUs. The goal is not necessarily to memorize 80,000 SKUs to get to the next phase. It's really about understanding the business and what we sell and who we sell from a vendor perspective. So that's going to give you the basic knowledge to be able to comfortably transition to the next stage, which is counter sales, right? This is the front-facing aspect of the role. Our contractors come into our branches, and the first people they see are our counter people. And so in this stage, you're very much learning now who our customers are, what projects they're working on in the industry and in the location that you're based out of, and really getting a feel of the scale of what we sell, and also mastering some of the programs that we use to be able to sell efficiently. In light of COVID, things have been immensely changed in a sense of curbside pickup and things that we're implementing to make sure that our service isn't hindered in any way. And we've gotten very positive feedback from our customers about that, and are continuing to do very strong as a result of those changes. And so you really learn the customer aspect first at that counter sales stage. And then from there, you do transition into purchasing, which ultimately is when you are learning where we get our products from. So we don't create the products, we go to our vendors who provide us the products that we sell. And in the purchasing stage, we end up learning who these vendors are, how we partner with them, and how we go to market. So this is integral in terms of being a business leader, because you're responsible for the inventory that you want to hold in your branch. And so really learning this phase is fundamental to having a successful operation as a branch manager one day. And then you'll see the next phase is inside sales. Very much the same as counter sales, but now you have a certain independence of being able to manage your accounts a lot of intake via email, fax, phone, and you'll find that you're at this point of the game, you have your regular customers, you're really understanding, who we go to sell to. You're getting a better idea of how to upsell our brand and how to focus on why choose Noble versus anybody else. And it's important, to understand that at the branch manager level, understanding that you might have sales staff under you one day, and having that knowledge is really good to be able to, walk the talk, so to speak, and also be able to train others. And then finally, we have the outside sales stage. And that is where you've now developed your sales skills. How do you approach the market, right? We do lead in the space here in Ontario. We have a very strong brand here in Ontario, and we want to continue on that path. So that being said, understanding what our outside salespeople do helps you understand how we approach the market, how do we grow our existing business, and how do we get new business. Because as a branch manager, being able to lead and sort of be creative in how you approach, whatever location you choose to end up leading a branch is very integral to the success. And our branch managers even go as far as forecasting their business every year. So understanding how all these pieces work really ends up being a big proponent in your success. So like you see there, if you're somebody with an entrepreneurial spirit, a very keen mind towards business, this is for you. We look for those who want to help bring others up, because as a leader, if you're able to develop others, you yourself can get elevated to other opportunities. And then you yourself, being a part of the program, get to be mentored and coached all the whole entire time you are in this program. So again, coming into this program, you're a permanent full-time employee, and then you transition through these phases all up until the branch manager position. I'm going to transition to our sales development program, which was actually created shortly after the branch manager development program. Very same framework and fundamentals in terms of how we approach the learning as in phases, but we also have, it's a different goal. Oh, wait, someone has a question about, does a branch, Clyde has a great question. Does a branch behave as a business under a franchise? The franchise here being Noble? That's a great question. We are not a franchise, but it's the expectation of a branch manager is to very much be independent and have autonomy to make decisions. So, we are not an organization where it's top down, where we're always telling the branch manager what to do, how to run their business. No, the branch managers very much, obviously we have certain a scope of our brand and what that looks like, but the branch managers can operate and do operate slightly different depending on what location they're at. And that's important, because what's happening in, say, Toronto is not necessarily the same as what's happening in Kingston. So we definitely give a lot of autonomy to that. So no, we are not a franchise, but we definitely give a lot of independence to our branch managers to lead, and it's been very successful to lead that way. It's a great question, Clyde. I really appreciate it. Going back to the branch manager, the sales development program, the focus of this program is for those who are relationship builders at their core. So, when you think about those who love customer service, you love speaking with somebody and being able to assist them from start to finish, this might be the program for you. You love to kind of drive and grow, from having one, benefiting one person from what you service and having to grow that relationship. You could be very successful on the sales side here at Noble. So, you'll see that the phases are much shorter. We've removed, obviously, the purchasing aspect for this, but really, you're learning the same fundamentals. What's the product? Who do we sell to, and how do we go to market to be able to grow the territory? And again, very rewarding on that side. You're more independent in this position. You're not managing others, but it's not to say that coming into the sales program means you can't grow into other positions, but absolutely, if you're looking to get a full-fledged sales position in a market that is so, growing, such as ours, this might be a program for you. So, you know, at this stage of the game, you might be wondering, okay, you know, I like this program. What's the process? So I'm going to go into that a little bit today. What you're seeing is just a little cycle of what typically happens when I shortlist a candidate. It starts with me. I will be phone interviewing the candidate. And very much like what we're doing right now, I do have my standard questions, but at the end of the day, I just want to learn about you. You know, what drives you? What's the ambition you have for your career long term? We really determine that, because one thing I do love about Noble is, as much as we want you to be a part of our business, we want you to be a part of us. So we want to make sure that there's a proper fit on both sides. So, you know, we do the phone interview, and then we move into online assessments, which are different depending on if you're pursuing the branch manager development program or the sales development program. But this provides us some additional information to be able to decide if you would be a qualified candidate to move into the leadership interview stage. And at the leadership interview stage, again, depending on which program you're pursuing, you will be meeting, you know, different director level, regional level managers, as well as the general manager of our organization. So you know, in that assessment process, it's very similar to the conversations you're having with me. And it also will give you an opportunity to tour our branches and get some exposure. And then stage 4 is highlighted because it is one difference between both of the programs. And that is, we do have a company psychologist at the final stages of our review process. So going back to the online assessments, our branch manager assessments are slightly different and are best to be evaluated by a company psychologist. So, you know, it's not something to be concerned about. It's the investment that we make to make sure that you're going to be happy and successful in this role. And so, you know, what we're determining is, you know, your status, what's going to be your satisfaction to the job, how are you going to be leading others? And because there's such a, you know, liability in that, in terms of being responsible for other teammates, we want to make sure that we're pursuing, you know, the right candidate, the right fit, to be able to provide them the opportunity to be a leader and represent our business. And then final stage, you know, you made it, you go into offer stage, you know, typical in terms of, you know, background checks, references, and then, you know, we have you start. I should mention at this stage is a question I often get, you know, when do we start? Do we have like cyclical start dates? To be honest, we're very flexible in that regard. For us, it's very important that we find the right candidate, and we're not in a rush to just bring in somebody if it's not the right time for them. So it's very flexible in that regard. I'm actively looking for all regions. And so I have those conversations with the candidates early on about when do they anticipate being able to entertain and focus on this opportunity full time. And that is pretty much it. I'm not done yet. I very much want to hear from all of you guys. You know, I hope I was able to kind of cover the focus of today. But I'm here if you guys want to ask any questions.
I think maybe what we might do, just because there are 2 participants, we might unmute both of the students, and then we'll just open up for free conversation, free flowing conversation.
Love it. Yeah.
I have to say, what I really love, Jana, is your sort of commitment to, you know, not just bring sort of anybody in, that they have to be, you know, it has to be a right fit for them, just like Noble, you know, it has to be a right fit for everybody involved. And how I really love how you're in no rush, really, you're flexible, you just want to make sure it's the right fit. And I think
absolutely. And for me as a recruiter, that was a little bit of a shift for me, because recruiters naturally operate from, oh my gosh, I need to fill this role and I just need to plug it in. We don't operate that way. I can tell you right now, it's not about just filling a slot, because it's not just a slot, it's somebody's livelihood, and it's somebody who's going to support our business into success.
You're more of the proactive than the reactive, because absolutely. I think there's a lot of companies that get caught in the idea of like, oh, we just need somebody now, and then it doesn't happen to be the right fit, and then it's just a waste of everybody's time and resources.
Absolutely. And that's not the feeling that we want to leave anybody.
Any comments from the student participants? Any questions?
Yes, hello.
Hi, Clyde.
Hi, Clyde. Great to hear you.
I had a question regarding the branch manager development program.
Yeah.
So say I were in the offer stage, would I be situated in a particular branch within Ontario,
That
or?
is a great question. Yes, I can deep dive into that because that's important to understand for both programs. So as you know, we have a extensive branch network. When I evaluate candidates from the onset, I talk about where they foresee themselves being in the long term and where would they like to be trained in the short term. So, if I have a candidate and they say, I would like to be in the Northeast region, I'm in the Peterborough area and I would like to stay and be trained in that area, you end up being a Northeast branch manager development trainee. And what that allows us to do is to make sure that your training is very well rounded. You're not just going to be in one location the entire time. The idea is to have you get full exposure of different kind of branches, different positions in different kind of branches in that time. And obviously, we're very aware and cognizant of the fact that there's a geographic scope for that trainee. So we're not sending you to, Milton if you live in Scarborough. But it's one of those things that we work with our trainees to make sure they're getting full-fledged training in their geography.
Alrighty, that's amazing. Thank you.
No problem.
I have a question about like the length of the training. How long do you guys train each employee?
That is a great question. So we have a projected timeline for both programs from the time that they start and finish. But I want to be stressed to you that that is a very flexible timeline for both those who want to take more time and those who want to kind of, or who complete it faster. And I'll give you an example. I had a trainee I hired 2 years ago, and he was just promoted to Woodstock as a branch supervisor. And this program is technically slated as a 4-year trajectory. So again, you're a permanent full-time employee the entire time. Our business is not to force you to speed through the program because there's no value in that. We don't want you being put in a leadership position and feeling like you didn't have the right tools to succeed. So you'll see that, we do take time and care. The talent development advisor works with the trainees to make sure that they're hitting key milestones and works with the trainees always to get feedback, right? She has one-on-ones with them where you can talk about, I'm in the counter sales phase. I'm learning a lot about plumbing, but I'm not learning a lot about HVAC. And she works with, okay, how do we get this person exposed more to the HVAC side so they feel comfortable enough to transition to the next position. So it's not a race by any means, but of course, if you do excel, we want you to excel and we want you to transition to the next position because, the goal of this program for us is to open up new branches, grow the territory. And then again, we have, even when you look at our business, part of these programs is succession planning, right? We have folks who have been working with us for years that, eventually you're going to retire. And so all these positions are going to be opening up. And so it's in our best interest to push you along as best as we can, but not to the detriment of your own success.
Okay, thank you.
No problem. Great question.
Well, I had one more question.
Yeah, go ahead, Clay.
You mentioned that the training program is usually projected to be around 4 years.
For the branch manager development program, for the sales development program, it's actually just 2 years.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Sorry.
Yeah, I just had that in mind because I thought about my own immigration status, considering that I am an international student.
Oh, fantastic.
And yeah, so I just wanted to bring that up and to know whether I will just be an employee from the get-go if I were to be offered.
Yes, you would. It would be a permanent full-time offer. Both of these positions are, 40-hour work weeks. Absolutely.
Okay, perfect.
That's a wonderful question, Clyde.
Very good
Wonderful question. Yeah, for sure. You just want to make sure that it's all above board for you to be able to stay in Canada and work. And so for Noble to be able to sort of like confirm that you've got full-time work is incredible. That's wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
Great question.
Very good question. I'm really glad that came up.
So,
and one thing I should share, each program, one is not better than the other, right? They're so integral to the success of our business. I always tell folks, literally guide where your heart goes. If you know that you enjoy, the relationship side and just dealing with the customers, the sales development program will probably be best for you. What you love, you end up succeeding in. And vice versa from the branch manager perspective. If you enjoy, empowering others, leading others, investing in others, you're going to enjoy being a leader. And so gravitate towards applying to the branch manager development program, because it's most likely that you will succeed through the review process with those skills. And then the other thing I want to mention with the sales development program and technically the branch manager program, it doesn't mean that you land in these positions and it's the be all end all. These programs are the fundamental to any position really that ends up developing in Noble long term, right? So I think I mentioned to you guys in this year alone, we had branch managers who were promoted. We had outside sales representatives move to branch management. So, you know, don't feel like by applying to one that, oh no, I gave up the other. It's not like that at all. It's just a different path that you will take to kind of get into our organization, learn about us, and learn the industry. So don't make that hold you back from making the decision that might be good for you right now. Well, thank you guys. If there's no more questions, you know, I just want to say, you know, thank you. It's a beautiful day. So for you to be cooped up in here talking to me, I really, really appreciate it. If you have any questions after, Juliana, I don't know if it's okay to just go ahead and share my personal email address. I would love
100%. Yeah. So we have the email addresses of the participants, so we can go ahead and send out your contact information if you're comfortable with that. And then if any questions come up in the future, they're more than welcome to reach out to you. That would be amazing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And yeah, so just letting you guys know, these positions are actively open. So, you know, if you or someone you know is interested in applying, you can go ahead, and we're actively interviewing.
One last question.
Okay, go ahead.
Where would I go about in applying for this?
Yeah, so you can jump right onto our website, www.noble.ca, and then head on to our careers page.
Awesome.
That's wonderful. Well, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us, and a special thank you for Jana. I think this is just an incredible opportunity for anybody looking for like a very specific and supported career trajectory, and what like amazing skill sets that you obviously will teach and employees will learn, and you know, and then the ability to sort of move on and grow is just, it's incredible. So Noble's doing great things. We're really pleased. Thanks so much.
Thank you guys. Have a great day, and I hope to get to talk to you soon.